Naja Deborah. I'm pursuing a bachelor's degree in vocational studies, home economics with education. I'm a GRC Nansley. I'm happy to be in this place. I've not met any international student, but my neighbors are just like me. They are national students, and it's also a good opportunity. And at least we have tried to share. I've come to know that my immediate neighbor is from Ntungamo, and the other one is from Rila, where I happen part-time. So it has been a blessing and a great opportunity meeting them. Thank you so much.
Thank you. When they tell you to move around, you don't want. I'm an international student. Be shy, be a student.
Members, let's interact. Let's interact.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I am Maloney Andrew. Yes, I am kind of like a local and international student. Yeah, because my my parents were from TZ, and yeah, and I grew up from here, Uganda. Yes, so yeah, I'm kind of like local international student. Yes, yeah, that's all that I have to say. Oh, and my neighbor here is a Somali. Yeah, we got some time and we interacted. Yeah, we got to chat with each other. So maybe we can talk more open. So
Hello. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I salute you all. Usman Muhammad is my name. My final year, a student of Kyambogo University, all the way from Somalia. I'm glad that Somalia now has joined the East African community. It's actually 8 member state East African community, and I'm sure as Somalis we are going to integrate more East African countries like Uganda, and for sure I have been so grateful to be part of this great university, pursuing Bachelor's of Engineering in Mechatronics, Biomedical Engineering, my final year. And for sure, I've met very many international students, well, from Somalia, from Southern Sudan, from Tanzania, from Kenya. Yeah, more of East Africans. Yeah, more of East Africans, even from Rwanda, Burundi, Congo. Yeah, and in my case, which I have integrated fully because I've been in the guild leadership. I served as a GRC Faculty of Engineering while I was here, and also a guild minister for Religion and Cultural Affairs, 19th government. There's something I'm proud of, and I want to say to international students that you guys, you need to become ambassadors, Kyambogo University, when you go back to our countries. Like when I go back to Somalia, I'm expected to be an ambassador, Kyambogo University, such that more students from Somalia can join Kyambogo University. And yes, I want to thank the organizers, our head international relations office, Dr. Judith Irene Nagasha, and our event coordinator, Mrs. Molen. She has been very supportive to all students from different countries, and we want to thank and send our appreciation and gratitude to them, their office, and all students of Kyambogo University from different districts within Uganda, and also the key leadership. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, for today's MC. I thank you so much also. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Honorable Osman. But I think because he's the head of the international students, so you'll be given another chance to give us your package. Yeah. So thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. And as he has said, let's make sure that we be ambassadors of Kyambogo University to those countries. So thank you so much. Yeah. We can continue to interact, members. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Bernard Natkunda, and I'm pursuing a Bachelor of Demography and Reproductive Health. I'm a finalist, and I come from Tungamo. So during this session, I interacted with this gentleman called Kamaka Patrick Brareko. He's a Madi, and he told me he's from Congo. So I got this opportunity to interact with him. He told me of his culture, and I go on thank Kyambogo University for giving us this platform to engage with students from different ethnic backgrounds. Thank you.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm called Raleko Patrick Kamaka. I am a Congolese, a student of Kyambogo University. I pursuing Bachelor of Demography and Reproductive Health, third year. I want to start by thanking Kyambogo University for hosting us, enabling us, and empowering us with their great knowledge and skills, something which I must really appreciate. The institution and the government at large. Coming to interactions, I've found out that there has been a lot of differences, especially when I had an experience with my friends, especially when it comes to things to do with food and other stuff. Just like the other speaker spoke, what you people consider here as the real food, we normally consider it as a breakfast from the eastern part of DRC. I normally get surprised like when people go for Matoke. For us, the other side, when we have it, somebody at the end of the day will tell you that has slept hungry. So that has been a shock to me. I want to place that as I finish, I am going to be an ambassador of Kyambogo University. Thank you so much.
Thank you, our friend from Congo. Yes, I think it has been an interactive session. And now, yeah, we are not going to go the next part. Yes. So thank you so much, students. I take this opportunity to invite our event coordinator, Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, MC. I would like to welcome you for the second day of the International Day, and thank you for being patient. Some of you were here as early as 11. We don't take it for granted. And for those that were here yesterday and are here again on the second day, we are very grateful to took time off your busy schedule and you came here. So according to our program, we had an interactive session that has been happening. Next, we're going to have a few videos playing from our international students, giving us testimonials of how their life has been here, how some of you have helped them to cope with life here. And then after that, we'll have a international student representative on the international perspective. So he will give us also the presentation. And later we'll have our guests from US Embassy. They're already on the way. They're arriving in a few minutes to give us also their presentation as far as education, USA is concerned. So they'll be talking about internship opportunities, study abroad opportunities, and scholarship. And I believe most of us came here to pick a one or a two or to learn about these opportunities. So they are on the way and be here. ICT team, kindly make our videos ready as we proceed. Thank you.
What I can say is I'm in year 2. Oh, to my brothers and sisters that side, habari yako. Jina yangu ni Ouru Robert. I am a student here of Kyambogo University, coming all the way from Kenya here to Uganda. My course is Bachelor's in Art and Industrial Design. It's a wonderful course. I implore more people to actually join it. What I can say is I'm in year 2, just starting year 2. And so far the journey has been quite interesting. It has been incredible. You come here, for example, my course is to do with art, mostly art. So you come here, you find creative people, a lot of creative things, a lot of new innovative things that you can take for yourself and apply to your life. You can beautify the space around you. What I can say, what I've learned from here, it's a really interesting place, a diverse place. People are so welcoming, hospitable. You find a lot of cultures not so different from that side where we come from. People are hospitable, they are all welcoming. There's never a dull moment here. You'll always have fun, you'll always enjoy the place, enjoy the cultures. You'll never face, even if you're someone who faces what I can call isolation, people are very welcoming. You'll be one of them. Despite the cultural difference, you'll be one of them. What I can say brought me here was more personal, but I can say that the thing that has made me stay here is that I've made so many friends. There's so many lovely people here, people who have welcomed me as one of them. I sometimes even forget that I'm from that side, but people here are welcoming. We are one people. Our neighbors here, they are really great. The course, as I can say, is, like I've said, it's innovative, it's nice. You learn a lot of new things, a lot of creative things, things you can employ in your own daily work, things that you see and you can beautify anything, yourself, the nature. When it comes to art and industrial, it's a course that so many people might look down on until you're actually doing it. Something you'll see that you take a few techniques and really you see how complex it is, something that can put you ahead of the curve in times of working when you're maybe out there. someone who's planning to start a business, someone who's planning to start anything, you can really use anything you find. It's not something that's limited. You are open to everything you find. What I can say in terms of how it competes with others, with other courses, you have something new. Every time you come up with something new. It's never stagnant. You never have to, let me say, use reference from other people. You never have to stick to what other people are doing. You can be ahead. You can do something new. If I'm to say how useful it is, it's something you can really take in. You can make money out of it. You can build yourself as a person. You don't have to wait for someone to look for you. You can start yourself, make money. What you learn here, maybe you can find it in Kenya. You can also find it anywhere else. But the thing that drives people here is that they are always creative, always coming up with new things that they can take and share with people of all around the world. Something I can say about the food, about the people, the culture here. At first glance, you who's new, you might see it as unusual, but I'm telling you, it's something you have to try to really believe that it's nice. Something that you have to appreciate by trying it. So I implore you people, please go out there, try all these things. Interact with our people here, our brothers and sisters here. They are our neighbors. Because if you want, then no one else will. Thank you.
I'm seated at the International Relations premises. These are my lecture rooms. My names are Lenga Moses Sebit, a year 1 student pursuing the bachelor's degree in banking and microfinance. I am a South Sudanese. South Sudanese, salam tanina kullu. As a South Sudanese, I'm proud to. One thing that I'm seated at the International Relations premises. These are my lecture rooms. My names are Lenga Moses Sebit, a year 1 student pursuing the bachelor's degree in banking and microfinance. I am a South Sudanese. South Sudanese, salam tanina kullu. As a South Sudanese, I'm proud to get Kyambogo. One thing that motivated me to get Kyambogo is its academic achievements that it has made in the past years. Everywhere you go, of course, you will hear Kyambogo, and everyone would want to come to Kyambogo. And I'm so pleased that I'm at Kyambogo. Right now, at Kyambogo, I enjoy a variety of things, some of which are very interesting and new unto me. The people themselves that I meet from different countries, some within Uganda and others within Africa, just amuse me a lot. I've gotten friends, majority of whom are Ugandans, and they have really amused me with their culture, the food they eat, and I feel like, yeah, I'm at home. Yes, about the cultural shocks that I've so far gotten at Kyambogo, I've found it very hard to relate with the issues of the language. Being a South Sudanese, we are fond of our Arabic and some other languages, but here you find out that people are mostly speaking the Kiganda language, which is kind of very hard for some of us to cope with. Yeah, that's one of the cultural shocks that I've gotten. Otherwise, I'm very happy with the International Relations Office that we have a representative. We are represented as international students. Several colleagues of ours have been complaining about the representation, but we've been having this representation for some time, just that some of us have been ignorant about it. But here it is. It has come once again to show us that indeed we are represented. This is their office. They have a WhatsApp group that has done a lot unto me. I personally did not know about it, but I came to know about it through the WhatsApp group. Therefore, I encourage my fellow international students, whether you're from Rwanda, whether you're from Kenya, whether you're from South Africa, Zambia, Somalia, please, this is where we belong. Some of us as international students, we may have different issues that we may encounter and we do not know where to begin from. This is the office. Let's come to the international relations premises and ensure that we get the necessary help that we need. To add on that, once again, I thank so much the International Relations Office for coming up with this initiative to represent us. We are so grateful as South Sudanese. Shukran, shukran, shukran shadid. Thank you.
Yes, my name is Salmini Baz. I'm a PhD student in special needs. I'm in my third year. I'm from Tanzania. I work with the University of Dodoma, which is in Tanzania. So I came here purposely to pursue PhD in special education, specifically here in Kenya. And in fact, I have developed my topic, that is a research topic. It is on the contribution of the community-based rehabilitation services towards inclusive education in secondary schools in Tanzania. In fact, I came to Kyambogo, Uganda, because here in East Africa is one of the best universities which offers special needs education. Historically, PhD is new in UNICEF in Kyambogo. PhD in special needs is new in Kyambogo, but it has a long experience of offering masters and bachelor degrees in special needs. So for them, they are competent enough. In fact, in our country, we don't have PhD in special needs education. We have tried our best. Now we are offering masters in special needs education in some universities in Tanzania. So my coming to Uganda is for the purpose of acquiring the relevant knowledge and skills, so that when I go back to my country, I will serve my people. I encourage people from Tanzania, people from East Africa and elsewhere to apply for bachelor degrees, master's degrees, and a PhD in special needs education in Kyambogo, because they have the real experts. They have the real people who can teach them issues pertaining to special needs education. On my side, life in Uganda, especially in Kyambogo, has been good. From the time when I came, life was good, and it is still good, because interaction with Ugandans is always good, and for them, they have been giving me a welcome hand. So I thank them. Life in general for international students is always good, because we have special accommodation for international students, and of course security in the university is promising. So once you are enrolled for either bachelor, master's, or PhD in Kyambogo, you are likely to live a comfortable life. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Mujye baliko basewo ne banyawo ki amoru wunduch lwa kameta nenwakan. I'm by the name Salele Roy Willie. I'm doing Bachelor's of Environmental Science, Technology and Management, Kyambogo University. I'm in my third year. I'm here to just give you or enlighten about my stay with the international students. Since I'm a local student, I've been interacting with them in hostels and in the classrooms, lecture rooms. But these guys are really good. If you get to interact with them, they are good people. You just have to understand them, learn some of their cultures, and as you also teach them. So I do share some of my cultural norms and values with them, and they also share. They tell me their best dishes. I also tell them mine. Since they are here, we go out and also do some testing on them.
Masters in Special Needs Education in some universities in Tanzania. So my coming to Uganda is for the purpose of acquiring the relevant knowledge and skills so that when I go back to my country, I will serve my people. I encourage people from Tanzania, people from East Africa, and elsewhere to apply for bachelor degrees, master's degrees, and a PhD in special needs education in Kyambogo, because they have the real experts. They have the real people who can teach them issues pertaining to special needs education. On my side, life in Uganda, especially in Kyambogo, has been good. From the time when I came, life was good, and it is still good, because interaction with Ugandans is always good, and for them, they have been giving me a welcome hand. So I thank them. Life in general for international students is always good, because we have special accommodation for international students, and of course security in the university is promising. So once you are enrolled for either bachelor, master's, or PhD in Kyambogo, you are likely to live a comfortable life. Thank you so much.
I'm seated at the International Relations premises. These are my lecture rooms. My names are
to my brothers and sisters that side, habari yako. Jina yangu ni Ouru Robert. I am a student here of Kyambogo.
Yes, good afternoon everyone. Mujye baliko base wone banyawo. Kyo amoru wunduch lwa kameta nenwakan. I'm by the name Salele Roy Willie. I'm doing Bachelor's of Environmental Science, Technology and Management, Kyambogo University. I'm in my third year. I'm here to just give you or enlighten about my stay with the international students. Since I'm a local student, I've been interacting with them in hostels and in the classrooms, lecture rooms. But these guys are really good. If you get to interact with them, they are good people. You just have to understand them, learn some of their cultures, and as you also teach them. So I do share some of my cultural norms and values with them, and they also share. They tell me their best dishes. I also tell them mine. Since they are here, we go out and also do some testing on them. In hostels, my immediate neighbor was Rwandese. This guy is someone who is hungry to learn, because he came, he didn't know the language, even English, since in their homeland they normally use French. So he's someone who wants to learn broken English, and I do correct. And I'm also someone who wants to learn, so he also teaches me some of the French. It's kind of funny, but that's it. He's a good person. And someone who wants to learn. Sometimes we go out, do the partying, what. They're social people. They do interact with other people. They're actually good people. These international students are very good. Since we're in an environment to learn, the university engages with the international office. They organize the social events where you meet most of the cultures from different countries. Even within the local cultures, we get to engage together. We learn more, and we learn more, especially the languages, especially the greetings. We get to learn more the food stuffs, and play some games, a lot of stuffs. It's fun. Yeah, we do especially the board games. We do the board games like Omweso. Yeah, the event is basically about socializing and getting to know each other. The local names, since my name is Alele Roy, but where I come from northern Uganda, they think most of the names should start with O, but even a boy, the name can start with A. So the Rwandese, most of them start with H. So we get to learn a lot of stuff during the social events.
Did not see me. You see, that thing was repeated twice to show that the fellow did not see me. So I one time wanted to travel. By the way, people who are here in like a minute or two, they are going to serve something to eat. So prepare your appetite so that it doesn't find you unprepared. I have a friend who is there and does not have some money for lunch. Just tell them that something is going on here. You can take even a photo of something that will come your way so that they come and pick theirs. So one day I was going to Arusha, Tanzania, and then I boarded a Takwa bus from Chigari. I was in Kabare then, and I used Chigari, which was near than coming to Kampala. So the Takwa people told me that they were going to Arusha, and yet they were going to Dar es Salaam. Now, when they reached a town called Kahama, I don't know, do we have some Tanzanians here? They are yet to come. So when they reached Kahama, they stopped. They told me, we are proceeding to Dar es Salaam, and for you here in Arusha, we leave you here. And I had paid for Dar es Salaam, by the way, that one aside. So they just kicked me out, and the bus went. And while I was there, everybody was speaking Swahili. For me, I know English and some other Ugandan languages. So I was very stuck in Kahama. I would speak English, then someone would speak Swahili. I would pick something. So finally, I got where to sleep. They told me that the buses were not available. The only available bus would be in the morning at 5 a.m. I found where to sleep. And in the evening, I got hungry and I went to look for something to eat in Kahama. To them, what we all know as a restaurant is called cafe. And for me, I knew. Have something? Okay. Mm. Okay. So I didn't want to go to surf the internet. I had my phone, but I wanted to eat. Until after walking for a long time, I did not find where to eat. I saw mangoes. I knew I was going to have mangoes for supper. And then finally, I saw a place that had chakula na vinywaji. To me, that is what I knew. I knew that chakula is food, vinywaji is drinks. And when I entered, there was some lady who knew English. So I ate for that night and even breakfast. I had to take a nap so that I don't starve again the following day. Those are some of the challenges. And then when I reached the border between Rwanda and Tanzania, I saw people just drinking soup, goat, with no food. I tried to look around, there was food. I found myself drinking goat soup and nothing else. Then later I saw someone eating, but how to ask for food was another problem. So I just drank my soup and some meat, and that was it. And because I did not know how to negotiate, so I got the 20,000 note and handed it to them, believing that they will bring the right balance. Whatever they brought, I say that's okay. So that's some of the culture challenges. Please learn Swahili because it's very important. Now, two things. Our visitors, the US people, are here and they're about to arrive. But there was a student who wanted to give a presentation, and we wanted that student to give that presentation now so that we start on time and end on time. I am Ruben Tinomjun. I work here. I am the principal communications officer for Kyambogo University. But in this function, I have not come because of that. I am the MC. MWAT MC. Thank you very much. Enjoy the drink and take a photo, send to someone and say, we have started so they don't miss. It's not good to eat alone. No. Thank you. A student who has a presentation, your time starts now. It's you. Okay. How do they say you're welcome in Sodo? Yeah. Okay, Sodo.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Robin. Our principal communications officer and our head international relations office, Dr. Judith Irene Nagasha, other staff members, and fellow students. Good afternoon to you all. I will have a brief presentation on the topic about the international students' experience at Kyambogo University. My name is Osman Mohammed. Year 4 student, Kyambogo University, pursuing Bachelor's of Engineering, Mechatronics and Biomedical Engineering, all the way from Somalia. I'm in my final year. Personally, I can say I have been fully integrated. For the 4 years I've been here, I've enjoyed it fully because I've been a guild leadership member. I have served as a GRC and also a guild minister. Dear friends, I want to tell you that our countries that there are students studying from Kyambogo University, some of which you can see that Southern Sudan, Kenya, Tanzania, Congo, Somalia, where I come from, and especially those of us who come from within the East African community, we feel more integrated. Somalia is the, I think, newest membership country in East African communities, eighth now, the eighth membership country in East African community. Those are some of the cultural foods, and generally, life has been uh, so nice, Kyambogo University, because of the following reasons. One, I can say the International Relations Office has been caring and supportive, We can also share that the library access has been is so long as you have your ID, everything is well. With tuition, I'll tell you that students from within East African community, they have fairly enjoyed uh, the tuition because it's not much expensive like other international students from maybe West Africa, Nigeria. People from Uganda, the students are so friendly and easy to interact with. I can say that the medical center also has been providing us with free services, like the local students also at the same time. And maybe some challenges that came across, and along the way we got also solutions. Maybe the local language barrier and the cultural adaptation is, you can say, the academic differences, the way were taught maybe differently, but for sure, in generally, we have enjoyed staying here at Kyambogo University, and we want to become ambassadors when we go back to our countries, to Kyambogo University. When I go back to Somalia, I want to say that one of the greatest universities in Uganda is Kyambogo University, of course. And finally, I want to send the few recommendations to our office head international relations office. One of which is registering our international student association in collaboration with the dean of students. I think that one can be done. We also request that inter university curriculum activities for international students. We have our colleagues from other studying in other universities in Uganda. We can interact with them. We can have session with them such that they get to know more about Kyambogo University. And finally, uh, we can also organize a yearly retreat for international students and also give leadership. And one request we can also make is that we have a representation in the guild as a GRC international student, but we also want to have in the cabinet the minister for international affairs should be for international students. I don't know whether by it's going to be by constitutional amendment or maybe cooperating with that particular guild president at that time. Thank you very much for listening to me. I thank you all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Engineer Sir, for that presentation about Kyambogo University. And most importantly, what I picked that you are going to tell more people from Somaliland, from Somalia, that they should come to this great university. They are welcome. And that idea, I think, makes every sense that an international minister for international affairs should be an international student. Yes, because how do you speak international when you are local like me? For me, my international thing is Kampala. the local is the village. So I think that makes every sense there is. And I'm glad you have proposed two areas, either constitution amendment, which I think is something that is in place, and or the intuition of the guild, but they are all possible, and it's very important. So thank you very much for the presentation. I'm sure you have spoken for many other people, and that makes every difference. Our visitor from the US Education Center has arrived, and he's already with us. Maybe to let you know that this event is already streamed live on Zoom. The machine people can share the link. I don't know how, so that you can also tell people who are not here to enjoy it live. I'm glad you are eating. Maybe to make announcement that even the MCs eat, so the servers can know that the MCs still exist. I'm sure you have all seen that I have not eaten, and I'm sure you agree with me that it's unfair that I should speak and go hungry. For you who are comfortably seated, you're eating. It's unfair. So think about it, the coordinator of the event and the chief server. So that even this colleague of mine, she also needs a thing or two. I'm just joking. And now I would like to invite the head. Yeah, I started from. Thank you very much, the event coordinator. I would like to invite the head of international relations, Dr. Judith Nagasha, to come and say a thing or two. Welcome us here and introduce and welcome the visitor and anything else that you would like to share with us. Doctor, you're welcome.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I want to welcome you from yesterday's event. We had a very fruitful day, and because you came, it became so fruitful. Could not make it without your presence yesterday. Also want to, I'm just extending my thanks to the international community for Kyambogo University that came, and still we are privileged to have our guests from the US Embassy to come and tell us education in the USA or study abroad programs that they have. So without wasting much of your time, allow me, because you are supposed to start at 2 exactly, but we lost some minutes. Allow me invite Mr. Ezra Niwaha to come and present to us. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. Why is the energy? Did you guys eat lunch? How are you? I'm very, very happy to be here with you and connect with you in person. I've been planning for this outreach for so long with the International Relations Office through Judith and Maureen. I'm very happy to be here with you. My name is Ezra Nwenyine. I'm the Education USA advisor from the US Embassy. How many of you know about Education USA? Anyone? Uh-oh. So when you hear Education USA, what do you really understand? By show of hands. Education USA. It's a direct one, right? Well, okay.
Yes, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Mungfeni Peter is my name, offering bachelor in chemical engineering, Kyambogo University. So what I understand by Education SA, it's maybe a department under US mission that handles studies in for for students outside USA who are going to have their studies in United States. Thank you very much.
That's fantastic. So, a brief background about me. I finished my high school from here. I'm Ugandan. Most people call me other things, but I'm Ugandan for starters. I finished my high school from here, and then after my high school, I went to Algeria. How many of you know Algeria? Anyone? Great. That's where I went for my bachelor's degree, and I came back. So, this is something that I will use often when I'm presenting because I expect you to go to the United States, study, get the expertise, and come back and contribute to your nation. Okay? So that's very, very important for you to note. So I leverage on that experience as an international student to come and empower and inspire all of you and give you the most accurate information on how you can apply and actually study in the United States. This is not something that is impossible because today you'll be connecting with one of your old boys who has actually traveled this fall semester to South Carolina State University. We've worked with him for a full year and so many more. But the only important thing about him is he traveled on what we call a full ride. A full ride is a fully funded scholarship in the United States. He's going to be doing masters in transportation engineering. So that is to tell you that it's actually possible. Okay? So Education USA is a US Department of State network. The US Department of State is like the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Uganda. So what we do is support you prospective international students who wish to study in the United States with accurate, comprehensive and current information on the study opportunities in the United States. So to begin with, why would you wish to study in the United States? At least I want three people to tell me the reasons as to why they would wish to study in the United States. Anyone? Yes? You can talk after him. He has a microphone. He will give you the microphone after.
Thank you. My name is Chimamanda Richard, a four-year student pursuing bachelor's degree in mechanical and manufacturing engineering. I would wish to study in US because it has an advanced technology than Uganda.
That's a very correct answer and very fantastic answer. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Chebet Crispas, pursuing Bachelor's of Arts with Education. I would wish to study in US in order to enhance on my social network and then also develop my career. Thank you.
Great.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Saigi Sara. I also wish to study in US because I also want to socialize with the people abroad, not only people from Uganda, but I also get to know how people from they learn, where it, whether it rhymes with this one of Uganda. Thank you.
So that's a very unique answer, and that's what we call exposure, right? When you go to the United States, you will have an opportunity to study in one of the actually, the most diverse country in the world. By diverse, I mean that you'll be studying with people from all over the world, from Asia, from other African countries, just like, and you'll all be on the same campus with them. So there is a lot of exposure, and that's what you call personal growth because you get to see small things in a global perspective. Okay? So that's one of the reasons that I would encourage you to have an experience of international education. But also, someone talked about the advanced tech. So it goes without saying that the United States is the leading, country in educating technology in their education system, and you'd have the opportunity to actually exploit that opportunity and actually study within faculties that have an extensive research opportunity, that have a lot of experiential learning and also someone talked about networking, which I've already talked about. There is also flexibility that you can't get from anywhere else but only in the United States. And this normally applies to people who wish to do undergraduate studies, but I believe most of you are here, you want to do graduate studies. Now, who can tell me what graduate studies? How many degrees can you get when you're going to study a graduate degree in the United States? What are graduate studies? Seems like a simple question, but I think I'm waiting to see who passes it. How many degrees? When I talk about graduate studies, what do you, anyone? Okay, tell me about them. Yes. So when I talk about graduate studies, I'm talking about those that wish to do masters or PhD. PhD can be postdoctorate, and if you be eligible for it, unless those that already have maybe PhD. But also, so graduate studies in the United States are very unique. And what makes them unique is they are the most funded studies level of studying in the United States. PhD has more funding than masters, and masters has more funding than bachelor's degree. So most of you could be in first year, second year. Can I see those in first year and second year? Oh, and then those that are in third year and fourth year. That's great. So those of you that are in first year and second year, this is an opportunity for you to start strategizing. What do you need to actually study in the United States? What is it actually like to actually apply successfully and win yourself a fully funded scholarship in the United States for your master's or PhD? Another thing that you need to know about the United States when I talked about flexibility, it's literally one of the countries whereby you can do a PhD without a master's. Okay? You finish your bachelor. Actually, one of the current students who has gone to UC Berkeley this semester, this fall semester, got a PhD from University of Ivory, but she chose UC Berkeley for masters. So that's a flexibility that you don't get anywhere else, you know. And I find that very unique. So that's like the flexibility in the US higher education system is actually one of the one of the strong weapons that are in the international education system in the United States. So those that are in third year, those that are in fourth year, this is actually a practical time for you to start thinking of applying. When I say thinking of applying, there are different application timelines in the United States. There is what we call the early decision, the early action, regular decision, and rolling decision. So, the early decision is binding. By that I mean you can only choose one university and you prioritize it for your early decision. What is the advantage of applying through early decision? It shows that you have genuine commitment and you're prioritizing the school. It's like the way you can be choosing universities for your university studies here in Uganda and you choose Tambo first choice. Okay? So, early decision and early action have the most funding. What do I mean by that? Universities in the United States may not tell you that actually earlier you can be considered for more scholarships. They have a policy of first come, first serve, but most of the universities will not tell you. So sometimes all applications for the next fall intake, which is the August-September intake in the United States, have opened this August. So meaning that when schools open applications, they also release money. So if you're here and you are in your last year, whether third year or fourth year, then I expect you to apply from now at least up to latest January for the fall intake. Okay? So early action on the other hand is non-binding, meaning that you are not so when I say binding is some universities will require you to write an agreement. You've committed to Harvard, and if Harvard gives you sensible funding, then you will withdraw from universities that you had actually applied to. But on the other hand, The early action, you can choose more than one university and it's non-binding, meaning that you don't don't show any commitment to any university whatsoever. And then regular decision, now this stretches from January to March. Early decision, the deadline goes up to 15th of October to 1st November. Early actions deadline goes up to 15th November. Okay? So, I want you to understand those timelines because they help you plan ahead on your application process. So, what would they actually require you as a prospective graduate student who wishes to do either master's or PhD in the United States? Number one, they want someone who has outstanding grades. Now, those that are in first year, those that are in second year, you have a very, very good opportunity. The students that you're going to be seeing there, Arthur is going to be joining us, or he has already joined us, they had excellent transcripts. He had a first class, and that's why he was recruited to be part of the Opportunity Funds program. Now, for those that don't know what that program is, this is an Education USA program that recruits high-performing, excellent students who wish to study in the United States. And the United States Embassy here in Kampala will facilitate them with the first phase of their application process with standardized tests, payment fees, application payment fees. They also work exclusively with me throughout the year. We support them up to the time when they get full funding, and then we pay for their tickets to travel in the United States with a little bit of stipend. But to only get into that program, you have to be really outstanding. And he was outstanding. So when I talk about that they want to look at your academic transcripts, I mean it. So the only gateway as a student, as an international student to the United States, is having excellent transcripts. But that's not the only thing that schools in the United States actually look up to. They look at your substantial working experience, or if you don't have work. And when I talk about working experience, I don't mean when you were paid. Okay, you could be volunteering. You could be doing some substantial activities in your community. All that should be termed as working experience on your resume. Okay, so that's what schools in the United States expect to see from you as a prospective graduate student. And then, so now this takes us to the 5 steps of applying and studying in the United States. Now, this is where the magic happens. And I expect you to take some notes when it comes to the first step. So you see, the first step is researching your options. The second step is how to finance your studies. The third step is completing your application. The fourth step is applying for your student visa. And the fifth step is pre-departure orientation, which happens every July of every year. Okay, so the first step is the most critical and most important step, because if you do it right, then you have solved all the remaining steps in your application process. So what is researching your options? Researching your options is finding your best fit. And what is the best fit? Your best fit is a school that really meets your financial and personal needs. So, to find that best fit, you have to know certain criteria elements that you must put into consideration on your research process and application process. Number one is the location. Where do you want to go and study in the United States? There are about 50, I think, in the United States, different regions. So when I talk about location, if you want to study in New York, I want to know, why do you actually choose New York as your destination for your. New York is more expensive than Missouri. Okay, so have you put the location into consideration? Because the location influences the living costs, to a certain extent also influences the competition. So some people may wish to apply in a state or region whereby they have relatives there already, but I don't want that to be the center of your choice for a certain state, because then you'll be matching yourself to a state because you have a relative, but actually you're not matching yourself to a state that really meets your financial needs, okay, and who you are. So that's when the location comes into play. The second thing is the acceptance rate. Now, I want to pose a question. How many of you know any examples of Ivy League universities? Ivy League universities. Yes? Anyone? Ivy League universities. So, Ivy League university. Ivy League in the first. How many of you watch football here? Aha. So, Ivy League universities are like the Premier League, the English Premier League. It's just a section of universities that are at the top of the academic food chain in the United States. But they have formed this league and they are very prestigious. One reason as to why they are very prestigious is because of their strong alumni network. If you hear that Obama went to Columbia, Yale, Bill Gates was at Harvard, it will definitely be very hard for you to be an old boy or an old girl of those people. So, what do I mean by the acceptance rate? Those are very highly selective schools. Disclaimer, Ivy League universities are not the best universities in the United States. How many of you know what we call UC Berkeley, University of California at Berkeley? Anyone? That's one of the best public research universities in the United States. But it's not an Ivy League. How many of you knew that MIT is not actually an Ivy League university? And it's one of the best institutions in the United States. Okay? I told you Ivy League universities are just a prestigious section of schools that came up together and formed a sports league. Very hard to get into. So when I'm talking about acceptance rates, those are the schools, the highly selective schools, not only the Ivy League universities, because Ivy League university 9, there are other schools. Every school in the United States that has an acceptance rate of 40% and below is a very highly selective school and hence hard to get into school. Meaning, what do I mean? How do you even get to know the acceptance rate of the university? What you do is just put on Google, for those that have data on your phones right now, what is the acceptance rate of Harvard University? I think it's about 4.7%. Meaning that every 100 students that apply to Harvard, only 4.7 get accepted into Harvard. Do you understand? So you have to really know who you are and you have to really, really tread carefully when you're applying. What do you do then? You spread your application worksheet in 3 categories. Number 1, the rich schools. Rich schools are the dream schools. I've dreamed to Yale for all my life. Now I will prioritize it. But before you make Yale your rich school, how is your academic performance? Why? Because these schools only take outstanding students. Okay? So you have to again know who you are before you choose a rich school. Apart from the rich schools, we have what we call the target schools. Now, the rich schools are the Harvards, the Yales, the UC Berkeleys, the universities. They're very hard to get into schools. The target schools, on the other hand, have between 50 to 70% acceptance, meaning that a target school can be on 2 things actually. 50% acceptance rate to 70% acceptance rate. And also there is what we call GRE. This is a general record examination. So this is a standardized test that you prospective international students who wish to study in the United States, only for graduates, you will have to undertake so that you boost your academic transcripts and also you boost your profile to qualify for reasonable and high funding in the United States. So, for your target school, first of all, they have to have 50 to 70 acceptance rates, but also you have to either have +2 more than their required G score or -2 less than their required GRE test score, or +2 more than their required cutoff GPA or -2 less than their required GPA. What do I mean? Let me give an example. I know some of you may be lost. So if Harvard is to be your target school and its cutoff GPA is 3.5 out of 4, okay? For it 3.7, or you'll have 3.3. The same applies to GRE. The total score of GRE is 340. It has two sections, the verbal reasoning and quantitative analysis. The people, I think Arthur is going to tell you if he has joined, these are the guys that really ace the GRE. It's not really hard. It's about practice, and the American Center has free resources for you to go and practice for free. Borrow them, read, pass your exam, and put them back. Okay? So, the same applies if the total score is 340. I encourage you to get 300 out of 340 if you want to get full funding for your graduate studies in the United States. Meaning that verbal reasoning, you'll get 150 out of 170, and also quantitative analysis, you'll get 150 out of 170. That's something that is very, very realistic. Okay? So, that's out for you to understand. And then the last category of your application worksheet has to be what we call the safe schools, just like their names. The schools that you are sure that you are going to get into. How do you get to know that these are the schools that you're going to get into? They have an acceptance rate of 60% and above, up to 100. But also, these schools, you already meet their minimum requirements. So if their cutoff GPA is 3.0, you have 3.5. That's how a school becomes your safe school. So I always tell my students, you cannot get rejected in a university. Why? Because if you really, and you don't even need to apply to so many universities, just get universities that really match who you are rather than matching yourself to the universities. When I say matching yourself to the universities is because you've ever heard of Yale University and it's the only university that you know, you end up applying to it because it's the only university you've heard of. But actually, this university doesn't really match who you are. Okay? So the acceptance rate is right. So after the acceptance rate, what program do you want to do? If you want to do Masters of Transportation Engineering, then does that university really have that? You need to really be very flexible. Some courses in the United States have different names. So, first read the program description, understand, is what I actually want to learn from this program part of it? The program description have what you're going to learn within that program. And sometimes this helps you when you're writing your personal statements as a graduate student, like I will tell you, because you need to show why did you choose this program. Why you chose that program is what you're going to learn from that program. Meaning that you have to really understand the program description. Okay? And then apart from the program of interest, if you've seen it and they have it, then you consider that school. The other criteria element that is the most important is what we call financial aid. Now, who can tell me the meaning of financial aid? Anyone? Okay. Yes? Great. So, financial aid is a collective term that involves what study opportunities, merit-based scholarships, need-based scholarships that involves student loans either by international foundations or universities themselves. In this case, for graduate students, there's what we call assistantships and fellowships. Apart from the fellowships and assistantships, you also have what we call externally funded scholarships. How many of you have heard of the MasterCard Foundation Scholarship? Now, the MasterCard Foundation Scholarship, that's an example of an externally funded scholarship. By that I mean it's an external entity that is funding your studies. Like the way you can apply to Kyambogo University, but Coca-Cola pays your tuition. Do you understand that? Exactly. So, like I told you, the commonest sources of funding are assistantships and fellowships. Fellowships are the commonest at a PhD level. These are direct grants that are given to those that the university wishes to attract. So if you're academically talented, if you have substantial work experience, and you are who the university wishes to attract, then they will give you a direct grant in form of a fellowship for your PhD studies. And then assistantships can be both at PhD and masters. Assistantships actually are divided into three categories. Number one, the research assistantship, teaching assistantship, the graduate, or what we call the administrative assistantship. Now, research assistantships, what are they? If I am a professor at Kyambogo, I have won a research grant, meaning research. I will choose my students to partner with me on my research instead of working with external partners. Meaning that you students that I've chosen, you will be research assistants. In a way that I'll be paying you for the 20 hours that you part-time while working on the research with me, but also I'll be able to pay your tuition. So meaning that you may not pay. The tuition waivers can be full or partial, but most of the cases they are full. Okay? So now that's what we call the research assistantships. Now, when I talk about graduate admissions or graduate applications, they are very autonomous. By that I mean that you apply to programs and faculties when you are a prospective graduate student wishing to study in the United States. So, by that I mean, unlike undergraduate students whereby the collective admissions room makes a collective decision on your application, for graduate studies, once you apply, even though you apply through the central portal, they send your applications to your program coordinators or the research professors that you are actually going to work with, the so-called your supervisors for your PhD or masters, and they make independent decisions on your application. What does that mean? That means that you really need to establish a line of communication and a sense of rapport between you and the professor that is going to be supervising you, or what we call program coordinators. By that I mean they need to know you before they reach your application, because they are going to make an independent decision on your application. How do they know you? How do you even establish a sense of rapport? So, when you go to a university website, go to graduate programs. When you go to graduate programs, choose the program that you really want to do. And most of the times, below the program description, there is a program coordinator. So, sometimes you'll be lucky to find a direct email of a program coordinator, or you'll find a general graduate school email. We are looking for the program coordinator. That's the person that is going to give you an assistantship. In other words, that's a person that you're going to work with, because he's the one coordinating the program that, or the faculty that you're going to. Meaning that what you do, if you find a general graduate school email, you send them an email gently and politely in a professional way, requesting for the contact of your program or the faculty that you wish to apply to. And once you get the email of the program coordinator or the professor that you'll be working with, you send them an email. So when I say sending an email, it's like seeing a job description and you tailor your resume to what those people that are supposed to hire you wish to see. Meaning that you have to research about this professor. If he's a research professor, what are his interests? What are some of the positive things that he has done in the faculty? Okay? Then highlight those things in your email as a reason as to why for a long time you have had a dream and a wish to join his faculty, because of the compelling things that he has done in the faculty. If I wrote to you an email telling you how I know you and how I admire the work that you've done here at Kyambogo for a long time, you'll definitely be drawn to know who I am, because I've taken time to really research about you and I've followed you for a long time. Do you understand? Now that's what creates a sense of rapport. Okay? Now after that, we go to what we call a teaching assistantship. Benefits of assistantships are the same, but they are only different. What I mean by that is a teaching assistant is a student teacher. So like the way you can have a master's student here at Kyambogo engaging faculty students of maybe engineering. with different consultations, just like the way student teachers do in Uganda. The benefits are the same. Your hours that you part-time are paid for your living costs, and also you get partial or full tuition waiver. Arthur is on a full tuition waiver. He doesn't pay, and he'll be part-timing, and he'll be getting paid for the hours that he part-times. Okay? But he himself, if he has joined, he's going to tell you that the connection between him and the professor is actually what won him an assistantship. Okay? And then apart from that, the graduate assistantship is given by a concurrence of the deans of faculties, meaning that you're doing administrative work on behalf of the faculty. Maybe you're entering marks in the computer, or you're just in the dean's office, and the benefits are the same. So those are assistantships. Okay? But the key to getting those assistantships, like I will reiterate again, is the connection between you and the person that you're going to work with in the United States. So before you apply, make sure that you know the person that you will likely be working with, and that is the program lead in the faculty that you wish to apply to. Okay? Sometimes you could send emails and they may not reply. But if such cases happen, try to do an extra research and get universities whereby the graduate admissions office is actually replying you, and then you try those universities. But if you really see that this program is, and an assistantship on that program is something that you can actually tap into and compete and get, then throw your application even though the program coordinator doesn't reply you. So some university websites, they could have, we have an assistantship only, you will be considered for an assistantship if you apply before maybe 1st of April, like University of Albany. On their website you find, we have an assistantship only if you apply before 1st of April. Okay, and other many dates. Many other universities have different dates. So I see Asa has joined. I will be talking about fellowships. I talked about fellowships, work study opportunities. As an international student, you can't work more than 20 hours or 15 hours per week, meaning that your main role in the United States is to study, but through work study opportunities, you can be able to cater for your living expenses, like maybe eating, going out with your friends, paying a little bit of your rent, and this is what you can get through work study opportunities. There is what we call CPT, that's the curricular practical training. That is internship in Uganda. Internships in the United States are paid. So if you're at a good university whereby they allow you to work every summer holidays. Summer holidays start from end of May to at least end of August. So that's a lot of time for you to work if you're under internship, meaning that you'll get that permission from the International Students Office at your university, and then you'll be able to work throughout your summer. Then there is what we call OPT. So CPT is during your study cycle, OPT is after you've graduated. How many of you are in STEM? STEM. Who knows what STEM is? What is STEM?
It's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Great. So those that are under STEM in the United States, you will have what we call an extended OPT program, meaning that you can work full time after your studies in the United States for up to 3 years. Everyone who finishes in the United States, they are eligible for 1 year of OPT. But those that are under STEM, you'll be working up to 3 years under the STEM extended program, OPT program, okay? And so apart from financial aid, I told you schools in the United States want to look at your academic transcripts, but it's not the only thing they look at. So then what do they look up? What do they look at? Number one, as a graduate student, your excellent academic transcripts. At least I expect you, by the time you're thinking of, I'll be honest with you. If you wish to apply in the United States, at least have a second class upper and above. Okay? And then, apart from your academic excellence, they want to look at your resume. So the resumes that we construct here in Uganda are totally different from what they want. Okay? So sometimes you find that someone is an early professional, but they are constructing a resume of about 10 pages. That's something that they don't really wish to see. So a resume, like the way you can be applying for a job and everything, it's just a resume in French means summary. Okay? A resume is less detailed compared to a CV. And trust me, most of the times they want to see the resume. So the resume, you will only put there relevant things that you think are really relevant to what you're actually applying to. So if you've been, maybe in your holidays, you were a chef somewhere and you're applying for civil engineering, I don't think that's something that you need to put on your resume, respectfully, okay? Because it's not relevant to what you're applying to, okay? So understand, and this can be understood through you reading the mission and the goals of the university that you're applying to. Understand who they really wish to recruit. And then tailor your resume with maybe research experience that you've done with your faculty professors here at Kyambogo that is really relevant to what you are actually applying for. And then apart from your resume, so resume, keep it as one page as possible. For those that maybe have substantial experience of 5 years and above, 2 pages are enough as well. How many of you know what Canva is? Canva. It's a graphic designing platform. Anyone? Yes. So for those that know Canva, you go there and just put there modern resume templates. You'll see examples of resumes that those guys really want to look at. And then avoid putting subjective items on your resume like your photo. It's not really necessary. You don't know who is going to be looking at your resume, okay? Just ignore that and don't put your photo. And then another thing is what we call personal statements or statements of purpose. So they want to know, as a graduate student, who are you? What are your passion? What are your interests? What really excites you? Why do you wish to study at this university? How does this university fit into your long-term career goals? And also, why do you want to do that program? And how is this program going to fit into your long-term career goals? So, why you want to do a certain program is what you're going to learn from that program. So that means you should have read the program description. Why you wish to study at a certain university, read, every university has that section of about us. Okay? This is also a platform for you to brag in front of the admissions office. You can even use this opportunity to highlight about that program coordinator that I earlier talked about as a reason as to why you wish to study in that university under his mentorship or her mentorship in that specific faculty. Okay? If you highlight the name as the reason as to why you wish to study at that faculty, it shows that you are a serious student who has already researched about the university exclusively. Okay? And then, apart from the personal statement, recommendation letters. Who are your recommenders? Your recommenders are people who are linked to you professionally or academically. Your current professors or previous professors, your current bosses or former bosses, meaning that you really have to leave a good mark at Kyambogo. And befriend these professors. These lecturers are the ones that are going to recommend you and get you full rides in the United States. Okay? Let them know you. So meaning that if I am your professor of maybe chemical engineering, I will not only talk about your academic excellence. End goal is to show that you are a full package of a student. Universities in the United States, they don't want to get someone who will only get A's and just leave the campus. That's why they are internationalizing their campuses. Because you bring a lot of talent and a lot of different flavor and diversity on their campuses. Meaning that they want a full package of who you are. That's why I'm now explaining to you the holistic review elements. I talked about academic transcripts. I talked about resume. I talked about the personal statement. I'm now on the recommendation letters. Recommendation letters meaning that if I'm your professor for chemistry, I'll talk about your academic performance, but I will also talk about your other life or your personal side. To elaborate to the university that actually you are likely to recruit a full package of an international student. Maybe I'll talk about how kind you are, how you've been helping your fellow students at the university with discussions, how you are good at volunteering in your community, team player, a lot of things, okay? And then apart from that, I will talk about what you will need. Some schools will require you to do interviews. So interviews are like the oral part of the personal essay. They want to know, why have you chosen that university? They want to know, for a long time, have you had a study plan? Okay. They can even ask you, why did you choose to go to Kyambogo? Most of you, can I know from any of you, why are you here? Why are you at Kyambogo University? Anyone? Yes. Why are you at Kyambogo University? Aha, that's one answer. Kyambogo University is the only university in Uganda that had a course that I wanted to do. Okay, now I want to get the second answer and I compare. Yes? Hmm, that's a good one. But when that's I'm sure Makere can also produce a best student in accounting. So you don't your answers are correct and valid, okay? But they are surface level answers. Okay? Because my friend said, what did you say? Exactly. So you have to really tell them that. So if we were in an interview, I wouldn't even know. You should really avoid someone asking you a follow-up question. Like, what is that course? But it would be different if you told me, I went to Kyambogo University because it met my academic needs, since it had one of the unique programs that I couldn't find at any other university. For example, I wanted to do maybe bachelor's in accounting and I couldn't find any other university that was providing that. But also, I had a close rapport with their professor who I've admired for a long time, that I really wished to be under his or her mentorship. Okay? So it would sound different. So you have to really be sharp during these interviews, because they are looking for an exceptional student. And interviews play an important role on your getting of an assistantship or scholarship, okay? So you have to really pay attention. So basically they want to know your study plan. Why have you chosen Harvard University? Why have you chosen this faculty? And we had already talked about that. So the last holistic review element is the standardized tests. You are from an English speaking country, so I expect you to vouch for yourselves and actually not apply and not fail to highlight that you want an English proficiency certificate waiver. So some schools will want you to do TOEFL, IELTS, Duolingo to assess how proficient you are in English. So it's your responsibility to highlight to the university that actually you're English proficient. Okay? Because you've studied all your life in English, you can actually tell your professors in your recommendation letters to write this, and you attach an email with that letter from your professor, telling them how you are proficient in English and how you've studied in English since your year one in Kyambogo University. So, bottom line, where do you go and research as a prospective graduate student? Number one, niche.com. Let me see if I can get this. So you see at the projector there is www.petersons.com. There is www.gradschools.com. There is also what we call niche.com. That is niche.com. So you go there, do your research, find your best fit, master the art of the holistic review, what I just told you, master the art of the criteria elements that I told you in the first step of researching your options, and make sure that you get a close rapport and establish a line of communication between you and the professors that you'll be working with in the United States. So, I think we shall first listen from Arthur to tell us about his story as we get into the Q&A for about 10 minutes. Okay? So, Arthur, can you... Yes, Arthur?
Hello.
Yes, we
Yes,
can hear you.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Arthur.
Yes. I'm Arthur Mkwaya. Can I be able to share my screen? Or can I share my screen?
Of course, of course.
The host kindly. I have no right to share it.
Wait.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Hope you can see my screen now, right?
From my screen, I can be able to see your screen. I think they will project it. Okay, great. We can now see it.
Yes. My name is Arthur Mkwaya. I was in Kyambogo actually from 2018. I finished last year. I got last year in December. And I was part of an opportunity finance program at the US Embassy, and Mr. Ezra was my advisor throughout the whole process of application to the US. Right now, I did mechatronics engineering. That's what I majored in, and I'm doing transportation and highway engineering in South Carolina State University right now. Actually, I started this fall. I started this August. I'm just in my first year, first semester. Hope you have all heard what Israel said about the application process, and I will try to highlight more the process I went through to get here, so that you also can make your way out. I'll take you through some steps I went through to get the financial aid. Right now, I'm on a fully funded scholarship that I got a graduate assistantship and graduate teaching assistantship at the same time from my professor. And these are some of the steps you have to go through. You have to know the program you'll be applying to. You have to search for the school. Which schools do you want to go to? Like, are you choosing the school according to the region, according to the grades, according to the requirements, and all that? Then from that, you have to create an Excel sheet whereby you list all the schools that you have gotten, and you also list the requirements they need. Then after you sieve out what schools are best fit for you. You don't need to apply to all. You don't need to apply over 10 schools. Maximum 7, 10 are enough during an application process. So if you're choosing a program, what criteria are you going to look at? I think you need to look at what area of specialization do you want to specialize in. Personally, I was doing mechatronics engineering, and one of the areas that I was into was transportation. Actually, my final year project was in transportation because it was about designing and simulating an electrical vehicle charging system using magnetic resonance. So my passion was in transport. So I had to look for schools that were offering transportation engineering, and South Carolina State University was one of them. Then you also have to look at what's your long-term goal. Do you want to go into professional, or you want to go into or you want to go into academia. Personally, my long-term goal is academia. So that's automatically I'll be doing that after my master's. Then even before you choose a program, you should know yourself. What skills do you have? Do you think the skills you have are enough for the selection committee to select you for a program? That's the question I think you should ask yourself. To get all this information, you have to visit the school websites, talk to the alumni on LinkedIn, and also look at different journals and conferences to get to know the different programs, what content is there, and all that. You can also consult professionals because there are very many professional engineers. I'll talk in part of the engineers because there are many professional engineers in Uganda that can guide you. You just need to set your goals up. Yep. If for this case, you have to know the long-term goal, and if you're going into industry, that's like going for being a researcher, product developer, management, or you're going into academia, being a professor, or being a teaching assistant, all of that. So you have to know your long-term goal and the course you'll be applying for, whether it be a master's or a PhD. The good thing with the US is that they allow you to apply for a PhD directly after your bachelor's. So you have to weigh your goals. You can either apply for a master's or a PhD directly. By doing your PhD, you can be doing the master's at the same time. But when you apply for a PhD directly after your bachelor's, that's also possible. You just need to know your long-term goals. I think the most tricky part is getting to choosing the schools that you'll be taking. What I did, I developed an Excel sheet that contained the school I wanted to go to, the program they had, the costs they had, the requirements, the application fees, and the funding options. So I put all that in my Excel sheet, and this greatly helped me to choose the schools to apply to at the end of my journey. As I talked about the resume, what it should contain and all that. Basically, you should have your internship experience, such experience if you have any, and also just research papers if you have published any. Should be one page, short. Yes. Then also the application process will require you to do some tests. It all depends on the school you have chosen and the program. Because some schools may require you to do GRE exams, and some also may require you to do TOEFL exams, or both. So it depends on the school you have chosen. TOEFL is an English exam. GRE is a general test exam. Though for TOEFL, you can still waive it if you are from an English-speaking school, country, sorry. You can ask the school to waive it off. One thing I forgot is that during the application process, you should be in close contact with the program coordinator, because that's one of the top people that actually choose the students that will be joining the program. So by the time the selection process reaches, the program coordinator should be very familiar with your name. And I don't mean to be spamming them with many emails. No, just your resume and all that will be speaking for you. As I talk about the funding opportunities, there are very many funding opportunities available. First are the scholarships. Scholarships come in two forms. One from there are some from the school directly and some from the. So it all depends on the way you have presented your application. Same as fellowships. Also, fellowships are both from the faculty or department and from the university. So all those are options for getting your funding sorted. Also, the assistantship. Right now, I am on research assistantship and teaching assistantship. So research assistantship is like doing research with a professor and being supervised by a professor. Then teaching assistantship, you'll be teaching the undergraduates. Being a tutor basically. Then administrative assistantship, you'll be doing office work, printing, being an office messenger, those small things. Yes. So those are some of the funding opportunities available. But to get this, you have to be one of the best applicants. And what do I mean to be one of the best applicants? I'll show it in my next slide. These are some of the requirements. You need good grades. You're all still in school. I think this is the best opportunity for you to get those good grades. You can still get the good grades. Even though you're in your last year, things can change and get that first class. You need letters of recommendations. Mostly there are 2 to 3, and that's why it's very good to establish a good connection with your lecturers. Personally, by the time I finished my 4 years, every lecturer in my department knew me. I think some in the audience can confirm that from the electrical department. And then also you need a resume. It should be 1 page. It should contain your name, university you have been to, the grades you got, the research you have done. That's the final year research, third year research if you did any. Then it should contain your internship. Yes, basically, it should be professional and related to your course you're applying to. I've talked about the standard tests, that's the GRE and the TOEFL. Then some schools may also require you to pay some small application fees, but also still some schools offer a few waivers for application fees. You just need to request. You also need a statement of purpose. And Ezra has talked about what should be put in the statement of purpose, so I won't be repeating that. You also need an official transcript, which is easy to get. You just need to go to your department, get it, and most times it's stamped, and you just scan it and submit that one. And the good thing with applying to the US, you can be in your final year and still apply, as long as by the time the school starts, you will have graduated. So those who are waiting for graduation in December, this is the best time to apply, because now the window for next year is open. I think the window starts from September to early December or late January to be considered for funding. So those are waiting for graduation in December, this is the best time to apply. And you should take note of the deadlines of submission, because different schools have different deadlines. And for each program, so each program has a different deadline. Then you submit your application. But then after submitting your application, some programs may interview you to see if you are qualified for the program and for the funding. Yes. And most times the professor is the one that reaches out to you if he may be considering you for funding. And some of the things you should be aware of is the work the professor is doing. So it's easier for him to fund you. And at the end of it all, if you plan well, you'll be given an admission with funding. Thank you. Hope I was very elaborate about the whole process. Though one thing I forgot to talk about is, I think you shouldn't look anywhere. US is the best option for you to look for when you want to do your graduate school. Why? Why that? US offers you an opportunity to work after you have graduated, even during graduation, even during your course of education. It offers you an opportunity to work. During the course, you are eligible to do an internship, which is CPT. Then after the course, like after my 2 years master's program, I'm eligible to work for 3 years since I'm doing a STEM course. Then if I go for a PhD again, I'll also be eligible to work for 3 years after my PhD. And I don't think there's any other country that gives such an opportunity. You put in practice what you have studied. Yes. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to speak to the students. I was once also there in the CTF like you guys. Thank you. I'm free to be asked any other question if there is any. Add on. Can I add on to that? Yes. So about the transcript testimonial, you are actually eligible to apply even though you're in your final year, as long as by the time the school starts, that's in around August next year, you have graduated. That's why I said those who are waiting for graduation in December, you can use their testimonials that are stamped. You scan them and use those as your unofficial transcripts. But after being admitted, you have to present the official transcripts. That's after your graduation. Thank you. I can also add on that. Yes. So personally, I did West evaluation, and I I I think there are very many theories about the conversion, but they're not true. Because at the end of it all, personally, I had a 4.47, and by the time my West evaluation came out, I had around 3.79. Yes, out of 4. So you could see that I was almost at the top of the scale. Also, with the West evaluation, there is a gentleman in the transcript office at Kyambogo. He's called Mr. Mukama. He can guide you through the West evaluation thing. Mr. Mukama in the transcript office. Thank you. Yes. Pardon? Thanks so much, Ezra. Too.
I get people from the US or anywhere talking about anything. They live like ducks, children. You survive and graduate and suffer. But here you are seated in a wonderful CTF and people come and give you free information. You need to thank God. But also not only thank God, but move and use the opportunity. Apply for things and get them. And that's how you stand at an advantage of being in such a university than other universities. So that's what I'm saying, nothing more. Yes, read, understand things, try things. And he said you have nothing to lose. The worst they can do to you is to refuse. You remain who you are. They will not beat you up, they will not take your money. You just remain where you are. And as you keep trying, an opportunity will unfold and you will never be the same. The exposure, the understanding, you will be different just by using your phone. Instead of TikToking, you things waste your time for nothing. At the end of the week or day or even an hour, you just do a self reflection and say, what have I actually gained? You will agree with me that there is absolutely nothing you have gained from these things. But when you try, and by the way, those applications, they take the best of you. You must think. You think it's easy to feel things. Trust me, you try those forms. You will think you're right. Roderick is laughing. I'm also laughing back to him because we know he was feeling something similar yesterday. The whole day you'll not finish. You just let it go. Go try something and try as many as you can. That is how people like us get opportunities. And for me, unfortunately, I studied from some places. My first time to come to Kampala was when I was going to the university. Then after university, I went back to the village and worked there for almost 10 years. And now I'm in Kampala. I'm an old man. You see, I've even flowered. Some things may not apply. I have children to feed. And so for you, use the opportunity while it lasts. We have actually come to an end of this session. Maybe to let you know that there is another session. It's International Students Social Event. Social event. And there is interactive games, there is bonfire, there is storytelling, there is poetry, and it's at the International Relations Office. Noma, is that the place? Noma, do you know Noma? Those of you who don't know Noma, when you get here, face this side at least, there is a Mulongoti. Those of you who don't know Mulongoti is a must. Uh-huh. Then it's around there, or you can ask any of these beautiful people around. There is Maureen, and then there is Donam, there is Brenda somewhere, there is Arinda, my daughter, she's also here. Get in touch with them, they will take you there. Don't miss these things to crown the International Day that started yesterday and is ending today. I am not going to say anything more. I have finished my MC roles today. I will conclude by inviting the doctor, a very wonderful doctor of all time, come and give us concluding remarks. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you very much, Ezra.
Thank you very much. What can I say? I'm really excited because it was our very first International Day since the inception of Kyambogo University. Yes. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you that turned up since yesterday. Yesterday we had big numbers, but you know good things, only few people partake them. I think for today, it was meant for the few people that we have today. And I think you have gained a lot from the the talk from Ezra. Allow me take this opportunity also to appreciate Ezra for turning up today, taking up the 2 hours to teach us on how to go about applications. I also want to thank Arthur, who is in the US right now. Thank you for inspiring these young people. What I believe in God 100+%. All things are possible. You have to give it your best. My colleague Ruben talked about TikTok. Evaluate yourself. Since morning, you're on TikTok talking. What are you talking? That is an innovation for someone else. They're making money out of you. And for you, how much money have you made in the 2 hours you have done that? So it is up to you, and we can make it. These applications take a lot of time. You sleep over them, you close, you start again, and sometimes I get stuck, but you also need help. And then I run to IT department. It's also very helpful. Sometimes they know how to go about those systems. So I'm a frequent visitor of the IT team of Kyambogo. If you find me seated with those young girls behind there, just know I'm also struggling with a form for something, because I still also apply at my level, different things, projects, and all that. So allow me to thank the IT team that has been with us since yesterday. Everything is at its best. Even when power went off, they had to look around for a generator, and we were back on air. The IT team, thank you very much. And also allow me thank our partners that were here today and yesterday, and their absentia that joined, that made this day very, very important for us and very fruitful. Me, I am humbled. I'm very excited. Those of you who saw me yesterday when the function had ended, I was here just dancing and praising my God alone. If you're dancing in public, but when I'm alone, the IT team put up everything, and I showed them what I know about, excitement. So I also want to thank the organizing committee that has pulled this together. You know yourselves, the PR office, Jennifer, Ruben, Roderick, our international students. So it was a combined team of staff and also our students, because they are the main stakeholders in all this. Thank you very much. I'm very much humbled. And also the top management. Everything was sponsored by top management of Kyambogo. Me, I just came like the way you go to Ezra for an application, free, nothing, no money, nothing, and everything is in place. I want to thank the top management that started with us yesterday for putting this in place. Really, we could not have managed alone as an office without top management. I also want to thank the guild president and the cabinet. The guild president was our MC yesterday, but today he's not around, with apology. So I was happy to work with him. Ruben made a joke that he has never co-MC'd with a president. And indeed, I think they made the day very lively. Thank you very much. But also allow me thank my bosses at office. Yes, I'm there, but I have bosses that I work with. Maureen, Linda, Donam, and Brenda, Sandy, and Jack. Thank you very much for making this day very fruitful. And as I conclude, I want to tell students that now I'm speaking from outside international office, but on the faculty, as a faculty member. I also teach. You come to us for recommendations. You have seen one of the key the requirements, recommendations. And from Arthur's talk, he said, if you recall, that every person, every lecturer in the faculty department knew him. So what trick did he use for him to get known? So same thing, you will come to me, they come, but I say, I can't remember you, I can't remember your name, who were you? You struggle. I'm telling you that you struggle recommending someone. You understand? So please stop making us struggle, so that when you call upon me, I just, it becomes very easy for me to recommend you. Is that okay? I think you have picked a leaf from that. Otherwise, let's stop here, close here. Thank you for your time. And maybe something else I had forgotten about that. Ezra can be here every semester, or somebody else from the US embassy. So please, clap for Ezra for that, or the US mission for that. They have pledged that whenever we want to talk to them every semester, they can come and give us similar talk, and maybe more as we go along. So every time we call upon you, at least we have made you know that international office exists. Yesterday you got to know what we do. I think you're going to frequent our offices more and more. Thank you very much. Before I go to hell, let's thank our interpreters from Special Needs Department.
So we have finished. Those who want to go, you can go. Those who want to hang in here, you can hang in here. The ICT people will give us some songs. Those who know how to dance or like dancing, even if you don't know, you try your luck here. Thank you very much.
Hello. Before you leave, we're going to have a photo moment at CTF, the front building. Thank you.